All right, welcome to section 13.5, page 3. Let's read our problem. You are given an 8-question true-false quiz. Suppose that you answer every question by guessing. Part A, what is the probability that you will answer exactly 6 of the questions correctly? So what are we finding the probability of? Probability that you get 6 questions correct. Out of how many? 8. Okay, so how are we going to calculate this probability? Well, the question is it binomial, and can we use the binomial table to do it? So let's check and see if it's binomial. So what are our properties? Well, the first property says that you have to have 2 outcomes, success and failure. Do we have 2 outcomes? When we answer a question, it's either correct or incorrect. So we can say, yep, we satisfy that. Second experiment, or second property says that we have to have a fixed number of trials. Okay, here I should put success, failure. Fixed number of trials. Do we? Well, when we read the problem, how many times are we answering questions? 8 times. So yes, we have fixed number of trials. How about the probability of success? Same. So same probability from trial to trial. Well, every time we're guessing and we have 2 possible answers, so yes, it's going to stay the same each time, and we'll talk about what that probability is later. Fourth, independent. Each time we calculate a probability, does it have anything to do with the past questions? No. If we answer one question correctly, if we're guessing, it doesn't affect the chance of answering the next one correctly. So we're good. It is binomial. Okay? So that means that we are going to calculate this probability by using the binomial table. So we're going to do n, x, p here. That's the information we have to have. So remember what n is. N is the number of trials. So how many times are we performing the experiment? Well, there's 8 questions. So each time we answer a question, we are performing the experiment. So n would be 8. What is x? X is the number of successes. And so for us, what would success be? Well, success is answering the question correctly. Okay, so that's going to be 6. All right, so this is our x. Okay, so number of successes, and here success is going to be correct answer. All right, and then what would the probability of success be? Well, let's see. What's the probability of answering the question correctly? Well, the probability of success equals the probability of correct answer. All right, let me move that over a little bit. Oh gosh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so what's the probability of a correct answer? Well, that would be the number of correct answers over the total number of answers. Okay, so let's see. How many correct answers are there? If we have a true-false quiz, it's either true or it's false. So one or the other. So there's only one answer that's correct. Out of how many possibilities are there? 2, true or false. So our probability of success, or the probability of getting a correct answer, is equal to 1/2. So that's the probability we're going to put in here for a probability of success. Now, the only thing is, we know that our table doesn't have fractions in it. So either get out your calculator, or hopefully you know that that's just 0.5. Okay, 50%. All right, so now time to get out your table. So what are we looking for? We're looking for 8, n equals 8. So if we look down this table, we see that n's go to 7. So let's move it over to n equals 8. Then once we get to n equals 8, let's see what our possibilities are. Well, we have 0, but we want 6 successes. That's hard to say. So let's slide this down until we get to the number 6. X is 6. Then what probability do we want? We have the choice of all of these probabilities. We have to match it up here. These are our probabilities. So we want 0.5 and 6. That gives us 0.109. So that's what we're going to say, 0.109. Okay, so let's answer here what we found. We can also say that that's equal to, if we move the decimal point over 2 places and convert to a percent, we're at 10.9%. Okay, so what did we find here? We found the probability, let's steal the wording right here, of answering exactly 6 questions correctly is 10.9% chance. So not very likely that you will answer, that you'll get 6 out of 8 correct when you're guessing. All right? So that's the answer to that. So I think at this point we're going to go ahead and, well, let's keep going. All right, so here, what are we asked to find? What is the probability that you will answer 6 or more of the questions correctly? So the probability of 6 or more, I move this way over. We're going to need all the room we can get here. So move it way over. The probability of 6 or more correct. Okay, what does that mean, 6 or more correct? Well, 6 would work, right? How about the number 5? 5 correct, would that work? No, that's not more than 6. So we're going to go ahead and say 6 works. So the probability of 6 correct. What else is more than 6? 7. So, or we could have 7 correct. Or we could have 8 correct. Could we have 9? No, we're only answering the question 8 times. So we're going to close it up. Now, if you remember back, what does or mean? That means we're going to add the probabilities. So the probability of 6 correct plus the probability of 7 correct plus the probability of 8 correct. Remember, and means multiply, or means add. So each one of these is a binomial probability. So we would do binomial of n px plus binomial of npx plus binomial of npx. Okay, so what do we get here? Well, the number of trials is going to be 8 in each case. All right. I did that wrong. I'm sorry about that. It's nxp. Okay, so nxp. xp. Okay, then we need the number of correct. So here at 6, probability is 0.5. Everything's staying the same from the original problem except for the number correct. So 8, how many correct here? 7. And then 8 and 8 and 0.5 is the probability of success. Okay, so now we use our table to figure out the answers. Let me slide this up here. So here we are in the 8 category, and we want to slide it all the way down to 6, which we already know that. That's 0.109. So go ahead and put that in. So 0.109. And then add the probability for 7. So we're just going to slide down our chart here till we get to 7. And then over to 0.5. What is that number? 0.031. Okay, and lastly, excuse me, we have 8 and 0.5, so 0.004. Now we need to get our calculator and add these all up. So what do we get? 0.109 plus 0.031 plus 0.004 gives us 0.144. 0.144. Changing that to a percent gives us 14.4%. Let's write in words what we've got here. So the probability that you answer 6 or more questions correctly is 14.4%. All right, so let's think about what that means. Of getting 6, 7, or 8 correct is 14% chance. Comparing to what we had up here, notice to get exactly 6 was 10.9%. So obviously, if we're including the chance of getting 7 or 8, that's going to up the probability. So a little bit more likely. Okay, so now go ahead and pause the video, this is the end of the video. Go on to part B of section 13.5, page 3.